Hi, welcome to ART142. This is Intro to Digital Photography at Phoenix College, Spring 2021. And we're going to kind of go over some introduction stuff, getting into the syllabus, some little extra tidbits, a little bit of how the course is going to flow. My name is Samantha Lynn Austin. I am your professor. You can call me Professor Samantha. You can call me Professor Austin. You can call me Sam, Sammy, Samantha. I will respond to all of it. I have a master's in intermedia from the School of Art at Arizona State University, and my bachelor's is in photography from Indiana University. I'm also a media coordinator at Fox Corporation, so I handle your entertainment. So if you're watching Bob's Burgers or Hell's Kitchen on like Hulu or Tubi, or buying it off Amazon, that is what I'm directly responsible for. A lot of my work as an artist and as a creative has really led to this position, and it's sort of real world practice that I have you guys working on, things like file names and image sharing and stuff like that, which will really translate to other jobs. So we are going to go over some of the syllabus. So I have the course calendar as well. This is something that you can download off of Canvas, so you don't have to like screen share or save anything off here, but it is kind of set up where the calendar starts Mondays at 12 a.m. Arizona time, and assignments are due Tuesdays the following week at 11:59 p.m. Arizona time. So if you have something, you get your assignment on the 19th, it'll actually be due on the 26th. And this is all within Canvas. There are some times where it's stated differently, so keep mindful of that. This is something to download, maybe even print off, so you can have a recording of it, and you can kind of physically see it, because I'm a physical person, I need to see things. So you can plan things out should you have like a busy week at work. You know, okay, I know we're really busy around Valentine's Day at work, so maybe I need to work ahead or finagle a few things during that week. And you know when things are due. So we are going to go with the syllabus. It is an online class, but we are going through the syllabus. There's a syllabus quiz as well, so it's good to watch this and not speed through, and also download the syllabus and maybe make notes, because some things will be on the syllabus quiz. So my contact, you can email me, samantha.austin, that's 2 A's, S-E-N, at phoenixcollege.edu. Or in Canvas, there is Messenger. It's kind of like IM or direct messenger if you're on Instagram. And it's a really quick way to get a hold of me. You can download the Canvas app. It's Canvas by Infrastructure. On your mobile device, I use it. It's great. It's almost like you're sending me a text message, and I can get to things fairly quickly. So I do recommend actually downloading the mobile app, but you can use Canvas Messenger. I do not have office hours, but if you need to meet in person on Canvas, in person either on campus or on Zoom, I'm more than happy to do that and make those adjustments for you. The communication policy, so I will try to respond within 48 hours. A lot of times it is a lot sooner, but I really want you to, think about that, Hey, she hasn't got back to me in 10 hours. What's going on? I try to get back sooner, but sometimes life happens. When you do message me, make your subject title ART142- whatever your name is. It doesn't have to be all caps, but just so I know what course it's referring to and what student it is, as well. Because your MEIDs don't directly translate to your name sometimes. So there is comments, you can comment on assignments. the way Canvas works, it's very difficult for me to get this notification. I get a notification, but I can't directly access it. It's not through like an email or anything like that. So if you have questions about your assignment, this is not a good way to get a hold of me. A lot of times I don't get them, or I get them way after you have a question. So anything in the comments section of when you turn in assignments or responding to grades, they will be likely unheard. So email, Canvas Messenger, best ways to get a hold of me. I do want to kind of reference netiquette, which is sort of, I'm not your friend that you're texting. Here's a link, but this is sort of how do you message your professor? So introduce hi Beth, my name is Jake Allison. I'm your student in your course. Real quick question, don't try to fluff it up, just be really concise with it. And end with your name. I don't need your student ID, just, end with your name. Try to proofread. Don't write in all caps. Remember that I'm a person, and so you're directly communicating with me. You can download Grammarly, and I link to it in multiple assignments, but I find it very helpful, and that's free through Phoenix College. So in this course, we're going to look at the fundamentals of digital photography. So we're going to learn camera operations, exposure techniques, digital output, and the theory of digital photography. So we're getting a little artsy with it, how to create images, what is a photograph, all that fun stuff. You do need to have a digital camera, which we'll talk about that in a moment. So there is a no required textbook, but there is a recommended textbook. It is available on campus, but if you do not want to go to campus, you can you can download it, rent it, or you can get an ebook. We will make reference for additional reading, optional readings with this text, but it's not required. So your digital camera needs to have 8 megapixels or higher, manual aperture controls, manual shutter controls, DSLR preferred, not required, no camera phones. We'll talk about this a little bit more. You need to have access to Canvas, so you need to be able to log into Canvas, and access Adobe Photoshop, Lightroom, and Bridge, and we'll talk about that later. There's some additional recommended things. If anything on this list that's really recommended, it is the tripod. And again, we're not going to go through every single line, but I'm just going to kind of give you like the top hits. You can't double dip, so let's say you took some pictures this summer that were gorgeous. I don't want to see them. I want to see what you're taking from this class and applying it. So that's very important. So you have to be shooting for each assignment. And they have to be for the assignment. So you can't be like, oh, I shot these week 1, but they'll be great for lights. No, they have to be shot for each assignment. You have to apply what you're learning. There's going to be extra credit. I love extra credit. You can redo assignments. You can look on that if you want to do that. I'm kind of a stickler on late work, so I do give you a full week after the assignment for most assignments, not like discussions or quizzes, to turn in something late because life happens, but there will be a penalty of 15% off the final grade. So I'll take your grade and I'll grade it normally, and then I'll take 15% off that. But let's say you know something's going to be late. Contact me. I will work with you. I understand this is still a very weird time. We're almost a full year in the coronavirus. So it's very odd. If you get coronavirus, let me know. And I can understand if you're not able to go out and shoot pictures. So keep that. I'm a little bit more flexible now than I used to be. One thing I'm not flexible on is you have to do everything through Google Drive. And we'll talk about how picky Google Drive is. But you can only send things to your school Google Drive, which has unlimited storage, so I highly recommend it. You can't use your personal one. We'll talk about how you actually submit. There's a cool video that I made for it. And then I need EXIF data. So we'll talk more about EXIF data, but this is sort of like your camera rights metadata, which is data about data, if you didn't know what metadata is. And it gives me all this information about, you know, the aperture, shutter speed. If you have geolocation on your phone, it will give me that as well, which is kind of cool, but I don't need that. We're just going to scroll through. I'll let you know if there's any changes to the syllabus. So there may be some things that are controversial in this course because we are talking about contemporary art. So keep an open mind when you're viewing things. You may see things that may be offensive to you or things that are not censored. So kind of come with an open mind and think about that before you kind of, you know, get into viewing art. You know, try to get into a space where you are opening and welcome. And if something does affect you, just talk to me. Maybe we can have a discussion about it. You can't double dip. You want to be original. So let's say you see something really cool on Instagram. You take that in and be inspired by it, but I don't want you to like directly copy it. So you are using Adobe Photoshop, CC, Lightroom, and Canvas to complete exercises, labs, assignments. So we have access during lab times and at the campus library, and we'll talk about access for students. The Adobe Photoshop full version does not run in Chromebook. So if you have a Chromebook, you may need to find an alternate way to access Photoshop or an alternate way to work. I mean, you can use GIMP or Darktable, but we're not centering any instruction on that. If you're using an iPad, Photoshop for iPad is not really comparable. I haven't used it in recent years, but when I did try to use it, it was just not great. I can try to troubleshoot some Adobe issues, but anything that's like software related, you have to contact Adobe customer support because I don't know hardware and software that well. I understand I'd use it. I'm really an expert in Photoshop, but I can't, you know, I'm not with you. We are going to use things like Adobe Cloud Services, YouTube, Kuler for some assignments. So you may have to use your student email address to create an account or use some other free resources from the internet. So we may use Canopy, which is like a streaming service where you can access through Phoenix College Library. And you can read through the rest, but I'm very excited for this semester. So we're going to kind of jump into this. And I will. So we are going to just kind of talk about things for this class. Reminder, the communication policy, you're going to be using your student email. This looks like a dated screenshot, so I may need to update this. You'll be using Canvas, so get comfortable with Canvas. If you do not know how to use Canvas, there's a lot of great resources on campus and through support. There's also this sort of cute little help icon that you can use to, you know, ask your questions. Again, Netiquette, big fan of it. This is the textbook. Again, it's not required, it's recommended. I do make notes of what pages are applicable to each lesson. Camera requirements. Okay, no cell phones. I know the brand new iPhone is super cool, but that's not going to teach you how to use the camera. Like, I know iPhones take great picture, digital cameras work very differently. And I know you can do manual stuff with your iPhone, but no cell phones. So it needs 8 megapixels or higher, manual aperture controls, manual shutter controls, DSLR or mirrorless preferred but not required. So we're going to go to the internet. So I'm on Amazon and I'm in the digital cameras area and I just typed manual controls. So you can see, we have some really nice ones that are expensive. Fujifilm's really nice these days. But they're around $400. If you don't have one, maybe you can borrow one from a friend or family member to complete assignments. But this is a requirement of this class. So we have this Kodak camera. It's about $200. That doesn't seem bad. So we're going to look to see if it meets our requirements. So I'm looking at the pictures. And what I see is actually this dial. And this is kind of our big clue. If it has the M in a dial, usually that's a clue that it's manual controls. This is more of a point and shoot, but you can still take great images and you can use manual controls. And it is 16 megapixels, so it meets that requirement. And if you buy one, you definitely need a memory card. So this would work fairly well. You can scroll down, Panasonic Lumix. Let's check this out. Does this meet our requirements? It's got a Leica lens, which is real nice. And if it has this top view, it has, an M. Now, there's aperture and shutter priority, but we're not using them. We're only using manual controls. So you can actually buy this camera, and this would meet your requirements. And it's not too expensive. Okay, so we have this power shot. Let's check this out. Alright, so it doesn't have the little dial, so we may have to look a little bit more. So we're just going to scroll down to find some more information. And I'm just kind of scrolling to see if anything has smart auto. Okay, shooting mode. So this would be, they have a lot of different shooting modes, which would be nice, but none of them are manual, which is what we need. So this actually would not be a good choice. Now, if you don't want to use Amazon, there is this website called KEH.com. It's sort of used cameras, so previously loved. But there are a lot of digital cameras that are fairly affordable. Now, 6 megapixel doesn't quite meet what we're looking for. And you will have to buy the lenses separate with these, so keep that in mind. Lenses can be a little bit pricier. But you can see there's some fairly affordable ones. The Micro Four Thirds, mirrorless. Let's check this one out. Okay. Let's see. It's got a top view. Looks like it could, but alright, maybe we can scroll down. So there's a lens we could buy, so that would be fairly helpful. And it may not help, but we can always kind of take this, Google search, and see if there is a manual. Or you can look at, there's a review. A review might be helpful. Nope, it does have a manual, so yeah, maybe you just have to search around. But this one, battery and charger 170. You could get this lens, you know, for 140, and this could be a good deal. So definitely keep around, look around. You know, I was with Canon and I switched to Sony, so, you know, if you ask me what I like, you know, I think any camera that fits your needs should be good. So storage. So I really recommend using a hard drive, an external hard drive, so that your stuff's not just living on your computer. Computers can crash, hard drives can crash too, but you could take it with you. Let's say you go on campus or different computers or using a friend's computer. It's a good way to store all your files. You can also store everything in Google Drive as well, but I also really like doing everything on my external hard drive. Again, Google Drive is a great backup. It's unlimited, which is insane because my other Google Drive, I'm full. So using your Maricopa one's unlimited, so you could store everything up there. Store all your backups there, all of your footage, just in case something happens. We'll be using Adobe Photoshop. This is an old screenshot, so Photoshop doesn't look like this anymore, but do have Adobe Access, Creative Cloud for students. Adobe has let this happen. I believe this should still work. If it doesn't, let me know. So you'll log into your Maricopa Google Apps at this link. You'll sign into your account at adobe.com and you'll use your NEID. Once Adobe has verified your account, it'll ask you to log into Maricopa one more time. Then you should see your Adobe account page, and under your services, in the center of the page, you can open the Creative Cloud link and you can download. There's also a video that Eric did, so this should work. You need Acrobat, Photoshop, and Illustrator's great, but you could also use Lightroom. That's the other one we need. But you can download them all and really have fun and learn. This is something that's been really helpful for students. If you have any questions, let me know. Please download this immediately. Well, you're also welcome to use GIMP, G-I-M-P, which is sort of a free Adobe Photoshop, and Darktable, which is a free Lightroom version. We're not centering instruction around it, but they might be helpful. Use your calendar. So put that calendar, put all of our due dates in your phone so you know when things are due. Another thing I want to talk about is setting your settings. So we're not going to get too deep into it, but what I see as blue may not be what you see on the blue on your monitor. So we want to make sure we have the same monitor colors. Mine are calibrated with spiders, data spiders, which is this little thing, and it says it gets me the most accurate colors. They're expensive. So there's this free one called Calibrize, which is linked. And Calibrize is something you can download, and you adjust your monitor colors in your monitor color space so that what I'm seeing as blue is what you see as blue. And so we're getting close to the same color range. It may look a little different. The blacks are a lot different. Once you calibrate, you have to kind of re-teach yourself to see color, but I definitely recommend doing so. We'll definitely be inspired by other photographers, so there will be a link. Constantly look at photography on Instagram, on websites, Facebook, whatever. Just be inspired. And last thing is take your time with your class. So you're going to have to work a little bit every day. You can't go out and shoot the day before. You won't get the feedback, you will feel rushed, and you won't have time to process all your photos. So take your time with everything that we do in this class. Additionally, we have discussion boards. Actually do them, because students who don't do them don't get a good grade. They may have been A students, but they may have gotten a C in the class because they didn't do any of our discussion boards. So you do have to keep up with them. I'm excited for this semester. I'm going to try to do some of the assignments along with you to really kind of get inspired. But I think this is going to be really good. Feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, concerns, but I'm very excited.